Okay, so last time we left off, we had that new step where we had to recall that what you do to one side, you do to the other. So what you do to one side, do to the other, right? That's just keeping your equations balanced. So my final step is to write it all out. So my orange piece, remember if I write that in factored form, that's x minus 7 times x minus 7. So we're going to do that as x minus 7 squared. For my blue work, we're going to look back at our boxes from completing the square. Y plus 1 times y plus 1, which I can write as y plus 1 squared, equals, and then you want to add all three of your plane numbers together. So 49 and 1 will be 50, plus 14 will be 64. And that's a much nicer number to have on the other side, because now we can see that our radius is the square root of 64, which is 8. And then my center has an x-coordinate of 7. Remember, it's opposite of what it looks like, because it's minus the number. And then y is negative 1. And there's our final answer. So I've got some practice problems that I want you guys to try. So what I want you guys to do is, for each of them, pause it and try on your own before getting help. Okay, so here are a couple of problems, and I'm going to pause the video and do some of the work, unpause, and walk you guys through it. Okay, so here's your first problem, just the general setup. I filled in what I knew into each square. Now to complete my square, I know it's an x and an x. I know it would be 5 times x to make a 5x. So it's going to be x plus 5 times x plus 5. That helps me fill in the missing piece of my square, which is a 25. Same kind of idea for the other one. We're going to have y's, minus 3 and minus 3, because just a quick double check, a y times a negative 3 does make negative 3y. You're going to use your 2 negative 3's to get your bottom chunk here. 2 negatives make a positive 9. That's 9. Now remember, you want to add 25 to the right side and add 9 to the right side as well, because you want to keep your equation balanced. Okay, so your final answer, writing in factored form, would be x plus 5 squared. Remember, you see the plus 5 and the plus 5 from the box or the square. For your y, it was a y minus 3 times a y minus 3. So plus y minus 3 squared equals, and then it looks like that's going to be 36. Okay. So remember, from here, we've got our radius equals 6, our center equals negative 5, positive 3. Okay. I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to work out the next couple for some extra practice for you guys. Okay, here's the work for the next one. I would say this one is kind of a medium level one. Anything on a quiz that I give you guys would be the same difficulty as number 4, just so you guys don't worry too much. This one, the easiest way I find is to leave the 11 cut in half and the 13 cut in half as a fraction, rather than writing it in decimal form. The only reason why is that when I do down here, I work for the missing piece to complete the square. It's a little easier for me to do 11 over 2 times 11 over 2 and just do top times top, bottom times bottom. If you did it in decimal form, that's just fine. You can also divide and get your answer in decimal form to check against mine. Okay, so you should have a radius of about 8.5, and you might have written your center as maybe 5.5 and negative 6.5 rather than the over 2. That's fine. Okay. This next one, your first step, make a note, step 1 is going to be to divide everything by 3. Okay, so I'm going to pause and work through it. You go ahead and work through it and unpause when you're ready to check. Okay, so over here I showed my first step of dividing everything by 3. Notice you want to do each piece, each term divided by 3, so focusing on your coefficients. I've got my squares over on the side, and to complete the square I had to add 121 and 4. Notice you have to also do that on the right side. I've got my final answer and my center, my radius rounded. So that's all we have for today. I missed you guys. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe and sound with your families out there. And I hope to see you guys, in the near, not too distant future when we finally get to go back to school. Okay, bye guys.